I've got a mixed media background here that I made, but then changed it up totally once it dried. I did make two layouts with similar techniques. One I did for my design team for Kitaholics, and that is over on their channel. I'll link down below. And then I did this one as well, and then decided which one I was going to do what with. So just mix some of the Vicki Boutin acrylic paints with some water. I'm just putting it onto the packaging here that I've got, some plastic, spray some more water, and I'm just going to smush it on down. So just going to put it in a couple of places. I'm just using the two shades of pink that we got in the box set of the paints, and they are so lovely. It's such a lovely colour, and actually we got a blue and a green as well. Yes, yeah, blue and green. And even the four colours all go together really nicely. When I first got it, I was thinking, oh, they're nice colours, but it's odd to have two pink, a blue and a green. But I've used the four colours together on different layouts, and they work so nicely. So you see, I put the dark pink down, and then when I go and do the light pink, I just smush it on, and it works much better. Well, I guess it works differently, not necessarily better. It is more thicker because I'm not spraying it with water once I pick up the colour, so it's more of a thicker colour on the page. So I then go back in later and add some more colour to the dark pink as well, because you can see that the dark pink, because I watered it down once I sprayed it on, it did go lighter. So you can see here now I'm smushing that darker pink on, and it looks different to what it was. Makes the colours stand out much better. And voila. So I wanted to make some drips down the page, and the paint, I haven't added enough water yet, so it's just not runny enough at all. You can see the drips are starting, and I thought that if I do it this way and have the drips starting in terms of where I want the drips to come down, that if I just spray it with some water, which I do in a moment, that it would just, nicely flow down the page. You will see in a moment how it works. It's not a total disaster, but it is totally different to the way I did it on the other page. So if you like the look as such, then go check out the other way I made the other layout, the background, because I actually use that background for the layout. Whereas this one, I use it more as a embellishment rather than a background. So I'm just going to go in with my paint and fill in the drips. So when I added the water, it made the paint go down, but the paint diluted a lot, especially as it got to the end of the page. So it needed some of this paint to put back on. So just cheating a little. It makes it cool because they're like authentic drips in terms of the direction and the line. But because I've painted them in, they are darker than they were before. So just smushing some of the paint down as well. I just thought it needed a bit of the brighter colour in a couple of the areas. And just making sure that all my drips are the way that I want them to go at the moment. So it's a simple way. You can smush some paint on and then add the water and let it drip itself. There's a few ways to do it, especially if you're using different mediums. So I'm just going to splat some ink splatters and some paint splatters all over the colours. So I'm doing the darker pink on the light pink packaging sections and the light pink on the dark. Did I just say they're both the same? The light on the dark and the dark on the light. So here's the other layout. You can quickly have a little look, and I'm just doing a bit more splatters. So if you want to see what I do with them, then check out the link down below, because you'll see two similar backgrounds but done in totally different ways. So gone to dry, and here it is. I've brought it back, and I thought I'd add some modelling paste here through a Flutterby stencil, and that way I could, by now my thoughts are that I'm going to cut up this paper and use it as embellishments. So I add some black splatters as well, and I'm going to use my hole punch. I didn't totally wait for it to dry, so they do get stuck a little. I use my heart punches, but also do some freehand hearts as well, because I have two shapes of hearts. So here you can see it's getting stuck because the texture paste is wet. That's what happens when you're impatient. So I don't recommend doing it because it doesn't work. So I'm just going to freehand some hearts, and I'm just looking for a handful of hearts in a couple of different sizes so that I could scatter them down the page there. You can see there's my photo, a selfie, because why not? And I've got an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock as my background. So you can see that even if you're not too sure about your mixed media background, there's this technique to change it up and use your background in a different way. There is a few other different ways to use it, but this is quite fun and simple indeed. You could use it as a layering piece behind your photo. You could use it as strips on your page if you wanted. Yeah, you could just have fun with it, really. So as you can see, just fussy cutting, just some random size hearts. There, I do have a few left at the end, I believe, so I just chuck them in my little embellishment container on my desk so that they can be used for a different time. And then we're just, as I said, cutting them out, thinking, okay, I've got enough, let me try and see how they're going to position on the layout, and if I don't have enough, then I can just cut the right size for what I need at the right time. So I've got half a pink doily that I'm just going to stick there as the start of my layering. So that draws in some more of the pink. It's going to be almost like a very heavy pink layout because it can be. I'm just looking at the Project Life size cards that we get in the kit, and there's these two lovely colours. So just going to lay them on top like that, and then the doily underneath, and that is pretty much the matting done once I cut them down. So I'm just going to put them the way I like them, staple them including the doily, that way I don't have to fiddle with double-sided tape for a moment. And I'm just going to stick down my photo, and then I'm going to cut those pattern papers down so that they're not so huge, considering my photo is quite small. So here we go. Lately that's what I've been doing for some reason, just cutting the background, the matting pieces from behind the photo down rather than doing it before the photo is on. But it works either way, so that's all that matters. So, sorry, I just got a bit distracted. Using part of the paper as a layering piece behind there on the right, I'm just going to stick it down to the page, and then we're going to have a play with these hearts. Add a little bit, not too much. Want to let the colours and the mixed media goodness on the hearts shine. So down it goes. Hold it for a moment. Just because that last layering piece is mixed media, you want to make sure that it's stuck properly. And I found this beautiful gold hello. It's a mirrored gold piece, and that was in the kits this month and I'm just going to have a play with the hearts. So sometimes I might just stick them as I'm putting them down, but this time I thought I've got a few different types of sizes, and because the pattern, even though it goes together so well because it's from the same background, the pattern on each heart is different. So it sort of looks like you have 10 different pattern papers that are all in pink and white. So you just have to be careful when you're putting it down to make sure it's appealing to your eye and you've got it where you are thinking will be the good spot for it to be. I'm just getting out my Sharpie pen, doing some outlining and some general doodling. Did some straight lines, some double sketchy lines, did some dashes so that it was like sewing. It just is a lot of fun. So try not to do all the same next to each other. So if it's a bit of a sketchy double crazy outline, and then I might put some of the stitch look with the dotted line. And some I'm even doing the outline on the shape, so on the inside edge of the heart, rather than the outside where on the white pattern paper. So that also adds a bit of interest in terms of what's different. So just cutting that one down. I think it's fun to have things overlapping the layout, overlapping the side of the page. Just makes it more coherent and flowy, like that was always meant to be. So yeah, just making sure that my Sharpie pen doesn't crash, because I don't want it to break. So here we go with the dash line. I think I don't add too much more actually in terms of embellishments. We've got the title on there, got a bit of fun layering behind the photo, and we've got these hearts that I'm adding some doodling marks to it so that it is making those hearts shine in the background and making the background unique. So this one I make fairly dark. I think I might have stuffed up one of the lines, so I had to go over it a few times to make it fit in. So just a single line border, probably the straightest I've ever drawn on a scrapbooking layout. That's crazy, but I'll take it. Oh, and then I'm going to do a gold. So one line of black, one line of gold. Just make that a fun layout. Add some squiggles, because why not? And then going to add some in between all the hearts as well. It'll be nice if we could all have it the way we wanted. And it's worked today in terms of the fact that our mixed media background was not working the way I wanted, but I changed it up, and instead we've got this lovely heart background. So here comes the close-ups, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.